the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
But for one, you're replacing two veteran guys, okay? I mean, Jalen McCullough played 487,000 snaps in his time at Tennessee. I mean, he had more starts than anybody in school history and just played, just all the time. He's gone. Wesley Walker's gone. So you got two new safeties coming in there. And who are those guys?
Yeah.
Jakobe Thomas is the transfer from Middle Tennessee State. I mean, he made the wise choice in picking Tennessee because, looks like an opportunity to step right in and play right away and be the guy. Where is Slaughter, in this, John Slaughter? Where's he at in this competition? Andre Turrentine he started the last 3 games, I guess, for Tennessee. Made a big play in the Iowa game with an interception in the red zone, which was a big play at the time because Iowa had some momentum. It's not like he picked off Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, he made a good play.
And they were driving. Like, who knows? The momentum could have that was a momentum changing play.
And so that should give him some confidence. So where does he factor in there? Is Will Brooks? Is he going to be what's his competition level at the safety spot? So you got 3 or 4 guys there in the competition, but man, they're just green. They just don't have a ton of experience. And who takes a step, right? How many of those guys take a step? Who really steps out and kind of takes the bull by the horns, if you will, at that position over 15 practices? I think is going to be really intriguing to watch for me because I think they want to leave Jourdan Thomas at the star position. Because as exciting as Boo Carter is, I'm not sure Boo Carter is going to be ready to be the star, right away. That position requires a lot mentally. They put a lot on that position in terms of adjustments, lining guys up, and all those things. So I don't know that he can come in and win that job right away because I'm not sure where he's going to be mentally. Jourdan Thomas is a guy you're talking about staying healthy. He's made plays, but he's also, been in street clothes too many times too. I mean, can he stay healthy? But I think safety jumps out to me as really an intriguing battle in terms of who's going to be starters there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything's set in stone there. I think it's a nice competition between transfers and young guys who are waiting for their opportunity. The whole iron sharpens iron strategy is going to be really interesting there. And it's also like, to your point about just the amount of snaps that they're replacing at the 2 safety spots, I'm curious if Tim Banks holds true to just those kind of reps where it's like whoever he settles on this spring and summer as his 2 guys in the safeties, and also we can throw Star in there. Does he still not really rotate and he just trusts those guys to be to play the same amount of snaps that McCullough was playing for the last few years? Or is he more likely to rotate because these are new guys and he's still going to he's not 100% on anybody yet? I'm curious if he rotates a lot more in the back end than he did the last few years.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think that part of the reason why he didn't rotate a year ago was that he was just so comfortable and had so much trust that McCullough was going to be where he was supposed to be. And he was going to correct mistakes. It's kind of like try to be the rim protector in basketball, if you will, right? That he can mask somebody making a mistake. Does he really come out of spring or even fall camp going, all right, these 2 guys have shown me that I've got complete trust in them? Or is it going to be a little bit more by committee till somebody runs with the job?
Yeah.
It feels like there's a more opportunity for a rotation this year than in previous years because it's hard for me to think he's going to have that complete and 100% trust and just 2 guys over everybody else, given their lack of experience that they have right now.
No, I mean, I 100% agree. And I think it's a good problem to have. And this is one of those things where, look, I mean, they're replacing good players. Like Tamari McDonald was a really good player for Tennessee. Wesley Walker was a huge find for Tennessee in the portal, and he was a great player for Tennessee. McCullough, I think you could make a case. Would you say last year was his best year as a Vol? Because I think you could say that. Yeah.
No question it was.
So that's huge. So that's a lot of opportunity for these new guys to step in, but I'm with you. I think it's just going to be a rotation for a while and a learning curve a little bit. I think it will be less that way though with the corners. Do you feel like it's just the corners is going to we kind of know where they're going to go? I mean, obviously with the transfer, you don't know what, is it Jermod McCoy? Is that who? Jermod? And then on the other side, obviously Ricky Gibson, who got some starts and played a lot, obviously in the Iowa game. So you feel pretty comfortable on both sides because McCoy obviously lit it up as a freshman at Oregon State, and Ricky Gibson has all the intangibles in the world to be a great corner for the next couple of years here in Knoxville. So you feel slightly you don't feel good about the back end. It's just that I feel like you have a better understanding of what you have at the corner spot than at the safety spot right now, right?
Yeah, you've got two guys who you believe in, right?
Yeah.
Because you've seen Ricky Gibson do it, and
Mm,
there's obviously a year's worth of evidence of McCoy doing it in a
right.
league that throws the ball a lot, with
Mm,
last year. So, that gives you some comfort. Now, I think the question about that group and that position is, what does your depth look like? Where is
mm,
Jourdan Matthews? We all have, the high rankings, high ceiling, with Jourdan Matthews, but he's a guy who struggled last year. I mean, he really did. He struggled, just with the transition from high school to the college game.
mm,
And so where is he? I think this is an important spring for him, not from the standpoint of if he doesn't run and take off and just grow leaps and bounds and become a star this spring that he's suddenly a bust. But I do think this is a big spring for him to get his confidence back in himself and to create some belief with his coaching staff. Christian Conyers is a guy who played on special teams a great deal. Where is he at in terms of being able to play corner? So I think you're right in that there's two guys that they feel pretty good about. The question is going to be, what does that look like behind him? And here's the thing we don't know, and this is the interesting part about spring practice, which goes back a little bit to what I was talking about off the top.
mm,
A year ago, Kamal Hadden, many of us thought Kamal Hadden was going to go into the transfer portal last spring after spring practice.
mhm.
That was just going to be kind of a, hey, it's probably better off for you and us and everybody if we gave it a shot, it didn't work. Everybody just goes their separate ways and everything's good. And
Mm,
all Kamal Hadden did was went through spring practice and was Tennessee's best corner coming out of
yeah.
spring, and ended up, all right, we're not gonna run him off. We want to make sure he stays, and do what we need to do. And obviously he had a good year up until he got hurt. So um, sometimes those things happen in spring. Okay. And
Yeah.
not necessarily that. I guess you could say Kamal Hadden went and won a job last spring, but he went and won his place on the roster. That they were like, this guy's he's above the line. He's absolutely going to help us and going to help us a lot to the point that there's too much value in him not being here. Uh,
Mhm.
so I think that happens from time to time, and I wonder where that is with a guy like Christian Conyer, a guy like Jourdan Matthews. I mean, Christian Harrison's going to move to safety. That could be another guy that jumps up and is in the competition at the safety spot. We just don't
Yeah.
know yet. So those are some of the intriguing parts of spring practice. Is just again who factors in that you say, hey, this guy's going to be all right.
Mhm.
And I think Jourdan Matthews and Christian Conyers are two of those guys that Tennessee needs to say at the end of practice, hey, they're going to be all right. We're going to be all right there with those guys. They just need to keep coming this summer, but we're absolutely going to be ready to play them. Because if you go back and look, Willie Martinez played about 4 corners last year before Hadden got hurt. So he was rotating pretty good. Who's he going to rotate with right now? I like their first two. I need to see 3 and 4 develop this spring.
Absolutely. Who will be the Brent Hubbs guy from the 2024 class?
I love Boot Carter. I mean, just the more I watch Boot Carter play this past fall, I mean, he's so dynamic with the ball in his hands. He's such a good athlete. It's just he's got to me. He feels like he's got the it factor from a
Hmm.
competitive standpoint. I'm just so intrigued. So intrigued.
Nicely
by
done,
who he
nephew.
is. And
The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.